It is with gratitude that we acknowledge that Renison University College is situated on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Itawandan neutral people, which is situated on the Haldeman Tract, the land granted to the Six Nation that includes 10 kilometers on each side of the Grand River from mouth to source. Our active work towards reconciliation takes place in all corners of our campus through research, learning, teaching, community building, and outreach. We are guided by the work of our reconciliation and restoring steering committees and anti-racism and decolonization spokes council, as well as the University of Waterloo's Office of Indigenous Relations.
Guego, Ige Teo Tandok, Nawago, Songwa Indiso, Songwa Wiganohanyo, Nate Deatenuaro, Ne Ongwe Soa, Eto no Yaduhage, Nate Ngwat Nigoda. So my name is Kelly Fran Davis. I am Haudenosaunee from Six Nations of the Grand River Territory. And I was asked to deliver a Thanksgiving address here today. I delivered my own version of a short form of the Thanksgiving address because as Haudenosaunee people traditionally, we have that as a man's responsibility to deliver the whole Thanksgiving address. But what I said in my languages, in Cayuga language, partly in Cayuga language, partly in Mohawk language, was I talked about the philosophy of the good mind of the Haudenosaunee people. I talked about the gratitude and appreciation that we all should have with having so much to be thankful for when we think about our natural environment. All the things that are continuously working for our well-being, as well as our ecosystem. The second part of my prayer, I acknowledged people, all the people that are here this evening, all the people that are connected to each and every one of us, and give gratitude for, the people that cheer us on, love us unconditionally, but also the people that sometimes create challenges in our lives, because we are taught that we're given opportunities to grow. We get an opportunity to face a challenge and to challenge our own ways of doing things. And we have an opportunity to change those ways so that we don't hurt or harm anybody, right? And the last part of my prayer, I just said, now our minds are one. And I ask that we all bring our minds together and that with that gratitude and with that optimism, and to bring our good minds together so that we do really great things together here this evening. Now we'll go. Thank you.
It's a beautiful opening. Thank you. Everyone can be seated. So good afternoon, everyone. It is a sincere pleasure on behalf of the Board of Directors to welcome all of you on this special occasion. The installation of Renison's 12th President and Vice Chancellor, the Reverend Dr. Mark Jerry. I am an alumni of Renison University College, a graduate of the Bachelor of Arts in Social Development Studies, 1992. My experience at Renison provided me with a top-notch education and a place where I would experience much personal growth. I found in Renison a special community. I felt respected. I felt valued. I felt warmth. I felt like I belonged. To this day, when I, through happenstance, meet former Renison professors in the community, we stop and chat. We catch up. This is a very unique and special. It is an example of what happens when an academic institution prioritizes small classroom sizes, a close-knit residence, and meaningful relationships. We strive to prepare graduates to contribute positively in our ever-changing and complex world. An important aspect of student education is the experience that they receive being part of a positive and inclusive community. This is the magic of Renison. And it is no surprise to me that when I returned as a member of the board nearly 30 years after graduating, I experienced that same positive and inclusive community. In choosing our next president and vice chancellor, we knew we needed someone who would share that same love of building positive relationships, who would continue to value the Renison culture of a close-knit community. We also knew, like so many other academic institutions in Ontario, we are facing challenging and complex times that require a sharp and skilled business leader. A pretty tall order, I would say, and I am thrilled to report we found all of these qualities in Dr. Mark Jerry. Dr. Jerry comes to us following a successful term as president of Luther College, a federated college of the University of Regina. He holds degrees in economics with specializations in econometrics and quantitative methods, and graduate degrees in theology. He has over 25 years of experience in post-secondary teaching, research, and administrative experience. He is also an ordained pastor and has served parishes in both the Anglican and Lutheran traditions. Dr. Reverend Mark Jerry has an inspiring biography and is the reason he was one of the top candidates unanimously supported by the President's Search Committee. However, it was his personal interactions with him that inspired us. During the on-site interview, Dr. Jerry genuinely engaged the entire community. He was prepared. He had a plan. He demonstrated that he shared our values. He listened intently. He was warm, and he showed delight in the students he met, and he shared openly about his family, his wife Marnie and daughter Carmen. This is a man who truly values relationships. Mark, I know there will be challenging times ahead. There will also be opportunities. I cannot think of a better leader for Renison in this time. You have the full confidence of the board, and I am so very pleased to welcome you officially as Renison's 12th President and Vice Chancellor.
Hi, my name is Vivek Wall, and I'm the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Waterloo. And on behalf of the entire university, I'm pleased to join everyone today in extending congratulations on the installation of Renison University College's 12th President and Vice Chancellor, the Reverend Dr. Mark Jerry. The University of Waterloo stands as a proud partner with Renison University College. For more than 6 decades, the University of Waterloo and Renison have worked together to deliver an exceptional educational experience. The University of Waterloo community collectively identified the values that make our institution such a special place to work and learn. We think differently, we act with purpose, and we work together. These values are embodied across Renison and all the affiliated and federated institutions in the ways in which we work together. At the heart of Waterloo's relationship with Renison is a spirit of collaboration and cooperation. Renison's unique courses, cultural and spiritual affiliations, and close-knit residential experiences complement educational and campus life in immeasurable ways. Renison plays a vital role in the University of Waterloo landscape. It enriches our students' educational experience by offering specialized academic programs and fostering a strong sense of community. Recently, the University of Waterloo developed a long-term vision, Waterloo at 100, to help guide us to our 100th anniversary in 2057. In that vision, we identify 5 intersecting global futures, areas in which we can make the most impact through our research, teaching, and service activities. These are societal, health, sustainable, technological, and economic futures. Renison's strengths in providing a robust liberal arts education and preparing students for careers in various professions such as social work, education, and the ministry contribute to our collective vision to advance society's future and help communities and humanity thrive. This institution's commitment to inclusivity, equity, reconciliation, and decolonization stands as an inspiring example of how we can work together towards a more just society. Our success to date is a direct result of the vision of our institution's founders, who sought to create a university community unlike any other. An institution that took an unconventional approach to solving the greatest challenges facing humanity at the time. In that process, our founders worked hand in hand with the community to create learning and research opportunities that to this day remain unique. In 1960, Waterloo signed an affiliation agreement with Renison to offer programs in arts and social sciences for credit toward a degree at Waterloo. This community within a community has since flourished. At Renison, students are embraced by a smaller community that is accessible, student-centered, inclusive, provides brave spaces, and allows for meaningful engagement. Through this connection, Renison nurtures and inspires transformative leaders. I welcome Reverend Dr. Mark Jerry as Renison's new president. You have found a leader with a strong background and track record who values your past as we set upon preparing for the future. Welcome, Mark, to the University of Waterloo community.
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Meehan. I'm the President and Vice Chancellor of St. Jerome's University. It's my pleasure to bring greetings today on behalf of the affiliated and federated institutions of the University of Waterloo, which, in addition to Renison University College, includes Conrad Grebel University College, United University College, and my institution, St. Jerome's. We are a tight group, the AFU heads, and you will understand if we take a special pride in welcoming Mark as our newest member and in joining with you today to celebrate his installation as Renison's 12th President and Vice Chancellor. While we are all unique, what the AFU have in common is our student-centeredness. This is expressed in our commitment to education and human development for young people at the start of their post-secondary journeys, marked by smaller classes, accessible faculty and staff, as well as our unique academic programs, residence, and student life. In essence, as Vivek said, we are about community. The great Lutheran pastor and theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer observed that the first service one owes to others in the community involves listening to them. Just as our love for God begins with listening to God's word, the beginning of love for others is learning to listen to them. I know that Reverend Dr. Mark Jerry will be a listening president for your community, but also for ours, as we look to him as a worthy successor to Dr. Wendy Fletcher to bring his rich experience as a teacher, a scholar, an administrator, a pastor, perhaps even as a pilot, to asserting our important missions at the University of Waterloo. Congratulations to Renison. Congratulations to Mark and his family. Congratulations to all of us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Christine Lund, the Principal Dean at Martin Luther University College at Wilfrid Laurier, the little school down the street. I want to welcome you, Mark, on behalf of Bishop Michael Price and Bishop-elect Carla Blakely, neither of which could be here today and are very regretful not to be physically present, but definitely wanted to welcome you as a rostered leader to the Eastern Synod. We figure that's a good win for us. And we look forward to ways in which we can partner together with Renison and you as a rostered leader. Luther sounds very much like Renison as I listen to people talk about small community, student-focused, inclusive, radical hospitality, education-focused, community-focused service. And I really look forward to ways in which we maybe as Luther and Renison can look for ways to work together. And how might we further engage each other in the Waterloo Declaration, which joined our two churches, the Anglicans and the Lutherans, into a way to collaborate together. So I look forward to working with you, Mark, and finding ways to collaborate, both perhaps as schools, but also as we could look for opportunities for the church and the community to work for justice and bring God's love to all people and work for just and right relationships. So congratulations, Mark. I'm so happy to have you as a colleague just down the street. It's a wonderful gift for me, and I look forward with great anticipation to your leadership and working with you. So thank you and congratulations to all of Renison.
My name's Megan Collingsmore, and many of you know me as the former chaplain here at Renison, but I'm actually here in my capacity as the Archdeacon of the northern portion of the Diocese of Huron, in which capacity I oversee 47 congregations, but it also includes Renison. And I've been asked to bring greetings to this gathering and to Mark from Archbishop Anne Germond. Anne is the Bishop of Moosonee and Algoma, as well as the Metropolitan of Ontario. And as of yesterday, she became the acting primate, that is the head of the Anglican Church in Canada. I was actually in a meeting with Anne yesterday, and she sent personal greetings as well and is sorry not to be with us. She writes, "Dear Dr. Jerry, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." From Mother Julian of Norwich. On a day full of joy and hope, I offer my hearty congratulations and best wishes on your installation as the President and Vice Chancellor of Renison University College. I would love to be there in person, but unfortunately the timing did not work. In my absence, I offer these words of encouragement, and I look forward to meeting you soon. As you become Renison's 12th president, including acting and interim, you follow a line of distinguished individuals who have served Renison faithfully over its 65-year history. You are becoming part of an awesome community where relationships between faculty and students are valued, as are inclusivity and celebrating diversity. The Renison community understands one of my favorite words, Ubuntu, the concept coined by Archbishop Desmond Tutu, that a person is a person through other people. Embrace every new encounter in these days of new beginnings, and you will discover many companions to accompany you on the way. How blessed Renison is to welcome you with your years of experience from previous appointments, your rich academic portfolio, as well as a new vision for the time you will serve here. As a pilot, you already know how a bird's eye view can help and be an effective guide. In these challenging but hopeful times in both the church and the academy, the long view and the high view will serve you well. I am certain that you will discover that God has equipped you with the necessary gifts for this season in Renaissance history. But know of my prayers for wisdom, skill, energy, good humor, and imagination as you accept this charge along with its many responsibilities. Those that are easy to fulfill and those which are challenging and difficult. There is a beautiful hymn in the Lutheran worship book titled, "How Clear is Our Vocation, Lord." You probably know it well, but let me end these words of greeting with the first verse as a reminder that you are not alone. God is with you, as are many new colleagues and friends. How clear is our vocation, Lord, when once we heed your call to live according to your word and daily learn, refreshed, restored, that you are Lord of all and will not let us fall. And it's signed, Anne Germond.
There's tape on the floor.
On behalf of the Board of Governors and the entire community of Renison University College, we present the Reverend Dr. Mark Jerry, who is to be installed as the President and Vice Chancellor of Renison University College.
I ask this question of everyone present. Do you, the community of Renison University College, covenant to uphold and support Mark for the enrichment of the life and work of Renison University College?
We will.
Please be seated. Do you, Mark Jerry, pledge to perform the duties and obligations of the President and Vice Chancellor of Renison University College to the best of your abilities as prescribed by the bylaws of this university college?
I, Mark Jerry, do hereby declare before this assembly, in the presence of God and those here gathered, that to the best of my ability, I will faithfully lead Renison University College towards excellence in scholarly pursuits, richness of community life, and service to humanity. So help me God in this my solemn covenant.
In the name of Renison University College and the authority vested in me, I now install you in the office of President and Vice Chancellor and carrying out the duties of said office. I invest you with the authority, responsibilities, and privileges symbolized by your high office. May you be guided in wisdom and discernment, and may your leadership of Renison University College be richly blessed. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christina Montero, and I serve as the Vice President, Academic and Dean here at Renison University College. I come before you to present some words of wisdom to our now President and Vice Chancellor, Mark Jerry. Mark, after a long cross-country journey, you joined our Renison community just a short 79 days ago and immediately began the important leadership work as Renison's 12th President and Vice Chancellor. From the beginning, our many conversations reflected on the extraordinary work of leading, making good decisions, leading in times of abundance and scarcity, and leading in times of peace and struggle. I was reminded of the words of a dear friend, David, a child survivor of the Rwandan genocide, who often reminded me that in the face of challenge, adversity, frustration, we must love. We must lead with love because nothing else matters. Years later, I was reminded of the love in leadership when I participated in the inaugural Women in Academic Leadership program through CHURD at the University of Manitoba. The program offered aspiring women leaders a brave space to develop their skills and confidence to answer the call to leadership in higher education. During the workshop, we tried to articulate our leadership style: servant, transformational, facilitative, emergent, participative. Then in a sharing circle, one of the facilitators whispered, "Where is there space for love in leadership?" We all looked at each other's eyes wide open and speechless. Imagine the rarity of a room filled with speechless academics. Love as leadership. Love. At first, the word was uttered quietly, softly, a little bit with trepidation, love, until all voices joined and the quiet vocalizations of love as leadership soon became loud and boisterous, like a unified love song. This love song has been sung for time immemorial. Love, Zag Edwin, is the most revered of the 7 grandfather teachings. Love, represented as the eagle, can fly closest to the Creator. The eagle, as with love, has strength, vision, and perspective. It has peace and balance. Many of the world's most significant historical and contemporary leaders, thought leaders, and influencers have led or lead with love. Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Maya Angelou, Amanda Gorman, Bono Vox, Martin Luther King Jr., and yes, even Taylor Swift. Listen to these timeless words. Whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer them with love. Mahatma Gandhi. Every time you smile at someone, it is an action of love, a gift to that person, a beautiful thing. Mother Teresa. Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. Maya Angelou. To love one another might just be the fight of our lives. Amanda Gorman. Write a world where we can belong to each other and sing it like no other. Oh, if I could hear myself when I say, oh, love is bigger than anything in its way. Bono Vox and U2. I have decided to stick with love, Hate is too great a burden to bear. Martin Luther King Jr. And in the face of haters, who you gonna hate, hate, hate? Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off with what? Well, with a love song, of course. Leadership rooted in love. Leadership is love. It is social justice, equity, empathy, and patience. It is empowering and uplifting. It is truth and truths, perspective. It is listening with eyes, ears, mind, and heart. It is vulnerable and strong. It is trust. It is kindness, caring, and compassion. It is resilient. Leadership rooted in love connects, honors, protects, hopes, and perseveres. Leadership is love. Love is universal. And where all other leadership styles fail, love does not. Reverend Dr. Mark Jerry, with an open heart, love, and gratitude, welcome to Renison. We celebrate you today, and we celebrate Renison.
Good afternoon. My name is Tanya Mazera Mijas, and I am Vice President of Student Affairs and Community Education here at Renison. I'd like to offer some words of wisdom from poetry. First, I'd like to quote a few lines from a Robert Frost poem, A Servant to Servants. Frost writes, "The best way out is always through," and I agree to that, or insofar as that I can see no way out but through. Mark, perseverance and grit will be essential in the days to come. Equally important will be our ability to find joy in our work. And so I have chosen Mary Oliver's poem, Don't Hesitate, to remind us not to refuse joy in times of trouble, but rather to savor the good moments as they arise. She writes, "If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything. But very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plunge. Joy is not to be made a crumb." So with that, I would like to offer words of perseverance, grit, and joy.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ruby. I was a FACE student back in 2022, and I am a third-year psychology student and also working as a peer leader in Renison now. It's my honor to give a speech today. And before I start my speech, I would like to give a round of applause to our president, Dr. Mark Jerry. Welcome to Renison University College. As you begin your tenure as a president, I would like to share from a student's perspective on what makes Renison unique and how this community can inspire and shape your journey. Renison University College is a place defined by diversity, support, and inspiration. Renison's strength lies in its diversity. People from different backgrounds, perspectives, and experience come together here, create a rich tapestry of culture and ideas. This diversity isn't just something to admire, it's a source of strength, pushing us all to think more openly, to emphasize more deeply, and to see the world through new lenses. As a president, you have the chance to celebrate and uplift this diversity, ensuring that every individual feels seen, heard, and valued. Support is the heartbeat of Renaissance. From the classroom to the residence hall, students, staff, and faculty form a network of care that makes this place more than just a college. It's home. In my own experience, I have found that no challenge feels insurmountable when you know you are surrounded by people who believe in you. As you lead, continue to nurture this sense of belonging and support. Create space where everyone feels empowered to grow, knowing they are backed by a community that is always there for them. Thirdly, Renaissance is a source of inspiration. It's a place where learning extends beyond textbook and lectures, where personal growth and discovery are a constant part of everyday life. As presidents, you have the opportunity to foster an environment where curiosity is encouraged and new ideas are explored. Help inspire the student and staff and faculty around you to push the boundaries, take risks, and embrace the process of learning and growth. In closing, I encourage you to embrace the unique spirit of Renaissance, where community, support, and inspiration are the cornerstone of our shared experience. Lead with empathy and inclusiveness, knowing that the strength of this community comes from a diversity of voice and perspective that make us its fabric. Foster an environment where students, staff, and faculty alike feel empowered to contribute, to learn, and to grow. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. All that we are is story. From the moment we are born to the time we continue on our spirit journey, we are involved in the creation of the story of our time here. It is what we arrive with. It is all we leave behind. We are not the things we accumulate. We are not the things that we deem important. We are story, all of us. What comes to matter then is the creation of the best possible story we can while we're here. You, me, us, together. When we can do that, and we take the time to share those stories with each other, we get bigger inside. We see each other. We recognize our kinship. We change the world one story at a time. Richard Wagamese. Today, we are beginning a new chapter in the story of Renaissance with the installation of our new president, Dr. Mark Jerry. With over 25 years of experience in post-secondary teaching, research, and administration, Dr. Jerry is well equipped to add substantially to Renaissance story. Renaissance has long been known for the caring community it provides for students, staff, and faculty. And I have my own story about Renaissance. My first experience with Renaissance came more than 20 years ago when Renaissance kindly offered a small Indigenous community of that time a space to gather, which is I believe to have been the first Indigenous gathering at the University of Waterloo. This was an important step towards the reconciliation work that we're doing today to decolonize and indigenize the University of Waterloo. There's no doubt we are living in challenging times, but we must not be disheartened. Our ancestors too lived in challenging times, and they overcame what must have seemed insurmountable obstacles, and we're here because of them. Working with and supporting our leadership, we must strive for solutions even as we face difficult decisions. I'll just end with a quote that I found and framed many years ago. I have it on my desk. We are continually faced by great opportunities, brilliantly disguised as insolvable problems. That was from Lee Iacocca, for those of you who are old enough to remember Lee. Congratulations.
I'm Leighton Lee. I'm the rector of St. Mark's, Niagara-on-the-Lake in the neighboring Diocese of Niagara. And I'm here because I'm Mark's brother-in-law. And Mark and I have been participating in each other's ordinations, installations, and inductions for the better part of a quarter century. So my friend, here we go again. As Yogi Berra would say, it's deja vu all over again. That's not my word of wisdom. Perhaps appropriately in this place to end these beautiful sharings of wisdom texts, one from the Book of Wisdom in the Hebrew Scriptures. Wisdom shines brightly and never fades. She is readily discerned by those who love her, and by those who seek her, she is found. She is quick to make herself known to all who desire knowledge of her. They who rise early in search of her will not grow weary in the quest, for they will find her seated at their door. To meditate on her is prudence in its perfect shape, and to be vigilant in her cause is the short way to freedom from care. She herself searches far and wide for those who are worthy of her, and on their daily path, she appears to them with kindly intent, meeting them halfway in all their purposes. The true beginning of wisdom is the desire to learn, and a concern for learning means love towards her.
I think I get a moment of rebuttal. Well, good afternoon, friends. It is wonderful to be here together in this space. To our special guests, our Indigenous elders, Renison visitor Bishop Todd, Board Chair Karen, Vice Chair Joseph, I saw in the audience as well. Yes, members of our Board of Governors, Waterloo Mayor Dorothy McCabe, University of Waterloo President Vivek Goel, and my AFU heads, Peter, Marcus, and Rick. Other representatives of the University of Waterloo, in terms of, from our deans, representatives of the clergy from the Diocese of both Huron and Niagara, as well as the Eastern Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Canada. To our donors and friends of Renison, to my dedicated managing directors group, to our wonderful faculty and staff, and most importantly, to our students. Thank you for today and for the gift of your presence on this important day, and for your ongoing commitment to the work and mission of Renison University College. I want to begin with a word of thanks. I'm so incredibly grateful for the call to serve as your president and vice chancellor. Renison has a rich history rooted in our Anglican tradition and yet open to all as we look for an exciting future together. More on that in a moment. I also need to take a moment to express a sincere word of thanks on behalf of Renison to Dr. Wendy Fletcher, who faithfully served as our president and vice chancellor from 2014 up until now in 2024. As you well know, Wendy led the institution through the pandemic and more recently through the development of a new strategic plan. In particular, Wendy worked hard to ensure a more inclusive and equitable environment. As an accomplished professional artist, she created many pieces of work, and especially one set of paintings based on the colors of the employees of Renison chose to represent different periods of time during the pandemic. It's hanging just outside of the library as you go back towards the reception. There are different panels, each of the different stages of the pandemic, all getting gradually lighter and more vibrant in color as time went on. Wendy noted this: the art project was a way for her to be connected to the members of the Renison family and for them to be connected with each other, to give us all a common thread to hold on to. You need to know that in the very last panel, Dr. Fletcher also asked for a color from me. And so I chose teal, a mix of blue, which were the colors of my last institution, to Renison's green. It was symbolically added to the painting to offer welcome and transition to Renison's story. After a well-deserved sabbatical, Dr. Fletcher returns as professor and director of our new Center for Spirituality and Wisdom Practices. Please join me in taking a moment to thank Dr. Fletcher for her service as our president. And now we are at a pivotal moment in the history of Renison, one in whose work will shape the direction and the future of our institution. But before I say more about that, I need to do a signature Mark Jerry move. Are you ready? Excellent. Watch for that later. Now to this liminal moment in what is to come for Renison. The post-secondary education sector in Canada is being deeply challenged and strained as traditional funding sources continue to decline, and yet the need for quality education and programming could not be greater. In a post-pandemic world filled with fake news, growing conflicts and war, and high instances of student and employee mental health anxiety and tentativeness, all at levels I've never seen before. Education is one of the balms that helps all of these things that ail our society. A university education, and one that nurtures the whole student, is the very essence of what our society needs to help it heal and grow for a more healthy and sustainable world. Our students are challenged in their classes by their professors to think critically, to analyze, to understand ethical and social and moral rights. These are not job-specific skills, but a broad type of liberal arts and science education that helps our graduates succeed in life for jobs that do not yet exist. How to write, how to solve problems, how to think critically, how to communicate well. Our university residence communities also build lifelong, lasting friendships in those buildings that impart an identity that sets university graduates apart. These are all things we do right here at Renison in partnership with our AFU neighbors and with the University of Waterloo. These are also things that help bring value to this community. These are things that the world needs. Our academic programming and social development studies, social work and culture and language studies, as well as the many more short, longer-term programming things we do in the English Language Institute. We have continuing education programs in TESOL, Japanese, Korean, American Sign Language, Indigenous Studies, and volunteer management, just to name a few. the community building that's done through our student experience and housing team, SIA, even in the community we build around the delicious food under Tim's watchful eye. Maintenance and housekeeping also play a key role in our operation as they literally help us keep the lights on. All of these things together make up Renison, and the world needs more of what Renison uniquely does. As we move forward, we are now operationalizing this new strategic plan as approved by our Board of Governors last spring. It's entitled Meeting the Moment. The plan runs until 2027 and was created out of an extensive stakeholder engagement process that tried to answer the question, who is Renison? What is it that the work that we do? 5 key priorities emerged in the plan. The first was around nurturing transformative leaders, student leaders. The second was around embedding indigenization, decolonization, as well as inclusion, diversity, and equity through all aspects of Renison's life. The third is to foster a strong, inclusive, and healthy community. The fourth is to continue to be an inspirational place of teaching, research, and learning, and finally, to establish institutional sustainability. We got a lot of work ahead. Going forward, much of the work needed to be done in this coming academic year is about the implementation of the plan and prioritizing our resources to figure out what makes Renison unique and valuable in this University of Waterloo ecosystem. The hard work that we have ahead is this. What are we going to do? Who are we as Renison? And most importantly, what are we going to stop doing so we can do the things that we have been called to do in this place? Long-term sustainability is, of course, a key mandate for the work ahead, and we will work together with our University of Waterloo partners to make that a success. As it says in Renison's strategic planning documents, the combination of challenges and opportunities creates a unique moment for Renison in this time. Meeting the moment with determination, tenacity, and optimism will allow Renison to be more prepared as we boldly step into the future. Well, to emphasize my message of hopefulness in challenging times, I want to conclude with a story you may have heard before. It's the story of a US immigration lawyer named Valerie Kaur, who is of Sikh descent. Maybe you've heard her story. She once shared a little bit about her family, and it's the story about her grandfather that matters. Kehar Singh was a Pujami farmer who was detained by immigration officers as soon as he arrived to the US from India on a steamboat 111 years ago in 1913. He was imprisoned, my friends, because of the color of his skin and for no other reason. It took a white lawyer named Henry Marshall to finally get him freed almost a year later. And Marshall was the inspiration for Singh's daughter, Valerie, to become a lawyer herself. She has very personally and directly lived the fear that marginalized communities continue to experience around the world, even today. Well, instead of perpetuating fear, Valerie wanted to share a message of hopefulness. And so to do that, she asked a very profound question. And that question went something like this. She was imagining her grandfather in that dark cell, wondering what it meant for him to be in that place and the fear that he experienced. But she asked this question: what if the darkness of her grandfather's cell was not the darkness of the tomb, but instead was the darkness of the womb? What if the darkness was not the darkness of the tomb, but instead the darkness of the womb? My friends, despite the challenges ahead of us, we are not in a state of perpetual darkness, but instead a temporary darkness that will be met with welcome light and new birth at the end of the tunnel. The darkness of the womb is a symbol of hopefulness and new life. The Renison community is called in these days to be that light, to care for one another, and to do our unique work as an educational institution, work that will matter and will make the world a better place. I'm incredibly proud to be joining you in this important work at Renison University College. May our collective efforts together in the work that we do as an educational institution and our journey together, may it be one that brings us towards the light of hopefulness for the world. May it be so. Amen.
As we come to the close of our afternoon together, I would like to offer some words from the prophet Isaiah in the Hebrew scriptures, in the Jewish scriptures. Comfort, O comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and cry to her that she has served her term, that her penalty is paid, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice cries out, in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be lifted up, and every mountain and hill be made low. The uneven ground shall become level, and the rough places a plain. Then the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all people shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. A voice says, cry out. And I said, what shall I cry? All people are grass. Their constancy is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, the flower fades, when the breath of the Lord blows upon it. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God will stand forever. As we come to the end of the ceremony today, I invite you to join with me and offer up thanksgiving. Thanks together for the gift of this day and this opportunity to come together as a community, lifting up our voices together and lifting up Mark in his new role as our president here at Renison University College. So may we together continue to write the story of Renison University College in the actions and in the words of our lives. May the gifts of grace and love and mercy be seen and experienced in all that we say and do for each other, in all of our dealings and interactions with students, staff, faculty, the many alumni and supporters of this place. May we see each other as family, as kin, as siblings of our shared humanity, and companions in the spirit along our way, along our journey. May we be bringers of peace, doers of justice and reconciliation, intentionally building and strengthening relationships with our Indigenous relations and siblings, welcoming and hosting others from all over the world, seeking full inclusion without barriers for our disabled siblings, ensuring space and life-giving interactions and supports for our 2S LGBTQ+ siblings, and of all people of every identity, faith, tradition, background, and belief. May all find a home here. May we together strive for learning and enrichment of heart, mind, and soul for any and all who come to this place. May we build, sustain, maintain, and enrich the community and the life here together. So may we all continue to write this story together, and in all of this be led and guided by the spirit of life that leads us into the fullness of life. May it be so. Amen.